Listen, women love masculine energy. Plain and simple. No way around it. They not just love it, they crave it, they yearn for it, they are attracted to it. And a man who exudes masculine energy is a man who is not just going to be successful with the ladies, he's going to be successful in life. All right. But we're focusing on what women love to see in men when it comes to these masculine qualities. And again, understand that it will benefit you in all ways. So let's get right to it. Number one is dominant energy. Okay. So that's having a strong presence. But I want to go beyond strong presence. Well, let me dive a little bit deeper with the strong presence, all right? Because having that strong presence composes of a lot of different things that we'll talk about on this list. But essentially, having that dominant energy is just, again, it's being aware. It's standing strong in who you are. It's being comfortable in who you are. All right. And again, we'll name some of the other things going on because there's a very specific thing that I want to talk about when I say dominant energy that some of y'all might feel uncomfortable with, but I feel the need to talk about this and I'll explain why. So I'm really leaning towards dominant energy in the bedroom. All right. And here's the reason why I felt it was important to have this discussion. Now, I'm going to make clear to you, I'm a believer in abstinence is a great thing. Yes, for men. All right. But I do understand, not everybody's going to go that route. And even if you have, you might fall off the wagon sometimes. I've fallen off the wagon in my life. It happens. None of us are perfect. And though we can say, especially for those who are believers, that waiting till marriage is quote unquote what's best, I understand that's not going to be the dynamic for a lot of people, right? And so though I'm not necessarily encouraging to go out there and have sex, I'm acknowledging that since you are engaging or you may engage in this, that you need to be aware of this dynamic of carrying this more dominant energy in the bedroom. And here's the reason, one of the big reasons why I felt the need to talk about this. I remember one time I met a girl, this was years ago, and she had this guy and he was a really good dude. I mean, he did everything for her. He was great. And she said, I love him. I'm not trying to let him go. But it turned out that she was out there sleeping with other dudes, or at least with another dude. Let me not put it on her that it was dudes, but I'll say with another guy, okay? And not that cheating is a laughing matter, but the point is, I had talked to her, I was like, yo, you're telling me you love this guy. You're telling me he's so awesome. Why are you sleeping with someone else then? And she said, because when it comes to the bedroom, he's so passive. And I'm not able to get what I need from him sexually, so I get that from this other man. But I am in no way trying to leave the man that I have because he's great in every other way. Now, again, that is not to excuse that behavior. That's not to say it's okay in any way, shape, or form. But it stuck with me because it caused me to see, or it helped me realize how there are a lot of men out there who are good, genuine dudes, and you love your girl, but you're lacking that balance of dominant energy at the very least in the bedroom, at the very least. And she's craving some of that. And so I want men to be aware. Now, let me be clear. When I say dominant, I'm not saying aggressive in a way that lands you behind bars, okay? Like, yo, don't be talking about Stephan said, boom, 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 and then now you catch the case. Like, no. Respectfully dominant. Dominant in a way that is confident in the bedroom. Dominant in a way that can take charge in the bedroom. Dominant in a way that is very comfortable within yourself in the bedroom and just flowing with this woman. You know what I'm saying? And yes, being able to get aggressive to her liking. To her liking. That's important to understand because every woman's threshold with aggressiveness, it varies. There are some women who like a very small tinge of aggressiveness. There are some women who like a lot of aggressiveness. And again, I'm cautious using the word aggressive because I don't want y'all to take that or misconstrue that and use it the wrong way, all right? Because it's a level of, you could say, controlled aggression. So it's more so being assertive, all right, in the bedroom. But I guess how it translates sometimes, it can be called aggressive. And we'll get more into being assertive. But anyways, be mindful of that. And not that you only want to be dominant. You have to learn the dance of that being able to be passionate and sensual, but also dominant with your woman in the bedroom. All right. She wants it all. And when you can learn how to flow with her in that energy that's necessary, you're going to win. And again, I say this also because I've seen men where I try to tell this to say, oh, well, isn't that being disrespectful? And it's like, nah, it's disrespectful if you're crossing lines she's not comfortable with. It's disrespectful if you're bullying her into doing something. It's disrespectful if you're pressuring her and, just throwing negative energy at her in that moment. That's disrespectful. That's a problem. And that's why it's important as a man that you talk to your woman outside of the bedroom about some of the things that's applicable within it. All right. And so getting an understanding of what her threshold actually is. So this is a weird thing. It's only weird because it's weird for me to talk to y'all about this to a certain extent. But I feel the need to say it, right? One example I'm going to give y'all, and then we're going to move on to the next point. There's a lot of women, all right, that like to be choked in the bedroom. Okay? We're keeping it real. We are all adults here, all right? We are all adults. Now, again, do not go in there and just grabbing people by the neck and she can't breathe, okay? Don't do some dumb stuff that causes a problem and get you, she says you physically abused her. No. But listen, some like to get choked. I would argue a lot. So one of the things you might do outside the bedroom is a simple choke test, so to speak, all right? Where you will say, okay, listen, let me place my hand on your neck. You tell me when it's too tight. You tell me when it's too much. Therefore, you're learning her outside the bedroom so you can apply it within. And I think that she's going to enjoy the fact that you're even taking an interest in trying to make sure that you can provide that dominance, that assertiveness, that aggression that she will love and enjoy, but in a way that still remains respectful to her and doesn't cross unhealthy, toxic lines. All right? So again, being dominant, it's important. I know this may have been weird for some of y'all to hear, for us to talk about right now, but hey, this is real life. This is real relationships, and I want to give it to you, give you that information. So now the second masculine trait that women love is confidence, all right? And of course, a lot of these things are going to pour into each other because you need to be confident to be able to exude that dominant energy. But anyways, getting on confidence more specifically, understand, there was a great quote I remember reading, and it said, confidence isn't always getting it right. It's not being afraid to get it wrong. All right? And so let's even use a sports analogy. It's not making every shot. It's not being afraid to take the shot. That's what confidence is. And so in life, it's about not walking around in fear, not walking around worried about, well, this isn't going to work. Just do what you got to do. Be you, live your life, stand strong in who you are. Take chances, take risks sometimes. Be confident. Again, you may fail. You may get something wrong, but you pick yourself back up and you keep it moving. And that level of confidence is going to exude masculine energy in a way that attracts women to, or makes your woman more attracted to you. Because my thing isn't about y'all getting a bunch of women. It's about you being able to have a great relationship with one woman ultimately. But yes, this is going to attract women, or this is going to strengthen your relationship with your woman when you can exude more confidence within it. And so now if you are struggling with confidence for whatever reason, you got to locate what the root cause of it is. For some of us, we lack confidence because, we may have been criticized all our lives growing up. We were never given proper encouragement to believe in ourselves. So now we question ourselves every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? There might be past failures that you've had that you have not rebounded from, that you haven't healed from, more specifically. There might be breakups that you've had, loving relationships. And it could be romantic ones. It could be family, whatever. Bottom line is there's hurt and disappointment that has not been properly resolved. So you want to make sure you heal from those things. Check out my book, Love After Heartbreak, even though I got another book for y'all to check out, but I have to mention it because I said healing. It's a book for men and women, so check it out, all right? That will help uncover some of the root issues that may be causing you to struggle, but you've got to be confident if you want to have a higher quality of life, and definitely it's something that women love to see in men. Now we move on to number 3, and the third masculine trait in men women love is decisiveness. All right. So again, there's so much things I see and read, and one of the things I read one time was the inability to decide something is like an anchor in your life. Like, you ever had a situation where you're trying to figure out what to do and it's been lingering on for days as far as you not knowing which way you're going to go with this and what your decision will be? And during that whole process, you feel like this weight is on your shoulders. It's throwing you off. It could be depressing you. It's just messing everything up. But then once you finally make a decision, it's like you're freed again. You feel so much better. You're back in the right state of mind. Everything is great. So it's important that you become a decisive man, a man who knows how to make decisions and get to a decision as quickly as possible, not rush through it. Don't get me wrong. Do your due diligence. Consider different factors. If you are in a relationship, yes, consider her opinion. Talk to her, get her feedback, right? But you've got to be able to come to a decision. Because think about what I just said. When you're being indecisive, it can give off an energy of weakness, all right? Just in your inability to decide something, but also think about how it lingers. If it does start to depress you, make you tired, how does that translate to the woman who's with you? Now she has to be around you while you're in this sad state, while you seem to not be able to function at your highest level. That's not going to exude masculine energy. So the quicker you can come to a decision, the better. All right. And if you are a man of God, pray. Learn to pray to help you get to quick decisions. One of the ways I've allowed myself to grow in being more decisive is just go straight into prayer, ask God what I need to do, listen to the answer of my spirit, and do it. Listen, I could be wrong, I could be right. All I care is that I'm doing what I'm hearing from God in my spirit. And that allows me to make quicker decisions and move on quicker. And the quicker we can move forward, the quicker we can accomplish more things, the quicker we can see progress. It just is necessary because, again, it's not about just getting it right. It's about just keep moving forward, and you'll keep making adjustments as you go along and as you see necessary. All right, so now we're at number 4, and the fourth quality is being assertive. All right, so I definitely like the word assertive more than aggression, and I think the way that it contrasts. All right, and I wish I would have. I had this in my head before, but I did see a guy on YouTube who mentioned this, and I wish I had his name because I want to shout him out, but I'm sorry, so forgive me, right? But it was compared to basically assertiveness is controlled aggression, all right? And so think about it like this. When someone's aggressive, they're kind of a loose cannon. They might be the guy who picks a fight rather than is prepared to handle what comes his way. You know what I'm saying? He is a little more unstable, the aggressive person, all right? And he also does not know how, he lacks awareness as far as what lines not to cross, you know, and how to set proper boundaries or how to respect other people's boundaries as well. Whereas the man who is assertive stands strong in himself, is able to handle business. He is going to handle the challenge or the threat that comes his way, but he ain't going out there looking for threats. He ain't going out there looking for problems. For what? A wise man doesn't move like that. Wise man is focused on his purpose, his work, what he needs to be doing, his family, his loved ones, all that stuff, not getting into trouble. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be assertive. You also assertive in the sense of being able to take control when necessary, being able to lead when necessary. And I say when necessary because, listen, I believe as a man, it's not about always having to be the leader. A strong man knows how to take a step back. And let me give you an example that pops in my head. It's thinking about like Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, all right? When they came together, you could argue there were two alpha males who led their teams to great heights, all right? At that time, LeBron didn't win a championship, Dwayne did. Either way, they got together in that first season. They got to the finals, but the argument can be made that one of the conflicts they had was there was no assigned leader. There was no, okay, this is the top dog. When it's the last shot, it's in this person's hands, that's it. And that kind of threw things off. But in the next season, Dwayne Wade kind of took a step back and said, you know what, LeBron, this is your team. All right. It don't mean Dwayne Wade wasn't still a man who led his own team. It didn't mean he wasn't strong. It meant that he was strong enough to recognize that the best course of action in this situation was to take a step back, let LeBron lead, and him kind of be the Batman, or the Robin to his Batman, or however you want to phrase it. And then they win a championship. So as a man, we do have to understand when there's moments that we should step back, but we have to be prepared and ready to take the lead when necessary. And so assertiveness plays into all of that. And you definitely want to cultivate the ability to embrace being assertive in all aspects of your life. All right, so now before I get to number 5, real quick, the book I did want to tell you about, He Who Finds a Wife. Get your copy of the book. You'll see it on the screen, but click the link in the description or the comment section. It's helped a lot of men out there. Trust me, you're going to enjoy it. So get your copy, all right? So number 5 is being a man of your word, all right? Do not be one of these guys who talk the talk but don't walk the walk. And if you can't walk it, don't talk it, all right? Nothing wrong with recognizing your limitations. Nothing wrong with recognizing, hey, this is something I can do or I can handle. And specifically how this translates into relationships is too many times it can be very frustrating for women to have to deal with a man who they either have to constantly be on top of to get something done that you said you were going to do, all right? And then never actually do it. Or it goes weeks without doing it. Now, if you are in a relationship or when you are dating a woman, what you want to learn how to do is don't just say, I'm going to do it to get her off your back, all right? If you honestly don't want to do it for whatever reason, I'd rather you say that than to tell her you're going to do it and not do it. That makes matters worse, all right? And now you look like you're not a man of your word and you start to look weak in her eyes. Also, if you know you need time, don't say I'm going to do it when you know damn well you're going to take 2 weeks to do it. If it's going to take you 2 weeks, say, hey, listen, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to need you to give me about a couple weeks. Now, I know that won't always play well, and she might complain about you having to wait 2 weeks or her having to wait 2 weeks for this to get done. And some things may not be a 2-week wait situation, right? But the point is you want to lay out the guideline that you can follow, all right? What is it? Don't write a check your mouth can't cash or some crap. I don't know. Yeah, whatever it is, all right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Bottom line is say what you mean what you say, back up your words. If you say you're going to do it, do it. You say something's going to happen. Even when sometimes there's situations in life where, let's say you told someone you're going to do them a favor. It could be woman, man, whoever. You say, I'm going to help you out. And then they do some nonsense that makes you second guess if you should help them out. In my opinion, still do it. Still be a man of your word. Of course, there's some situations where there's going to be exceptions to the rule. But what I'm trying to convey to you here is that don't be so easily swayed or find excuses to not stick to what you said. All right? Unless there's a really good reason for it, you need to follow through with what you're saying. So being a man of your word definitely is something that women want to see and is attractive in a man. And it makes them feel safer and more secure with you. It makes them feel like they can trust the words coming out of your mouth. And when you create that safety and that comfort in your relationship, you will unlock even greater parts of your woman that you can enjoy in this relationship. All right, so now we're on to number 6. And the 6th masculine trait women love to see in men is the ability to be composed, composure, all right? So here's the thing, as a man, and unfortunately I have to say this, I'm seeing so many men nowadays being so emotionally reactive, all right? Being so easily triggered. I'm seeing men going back and forth with women and insulting them, and I'm talking about like in comment sections and stuff like that, and just arguing all day with, it's like, yo, stop all that. Stop all that. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. It does not mean you are not allowed to feel your emotions. I don't want y'all suppressing yourselves, but I want you to learn how to be composed. And if you need a moment, take a moment, step aside and let things out. Cool, but don't let it cause you to become unstable. Don't allow it to cause you to now react before you process things. That's not a good look. And again, it's not even just about women. For you as a man, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you become too emotionally reactive. Think before you react. Hell, pray before you react. Process. Take a moment. And when you can show composure like that, and you can not be so, again, just understand how to better approach things, that's going to, one, play well into you being able to lead better in a relationship, all right? It's going to help you make better decisions in a relationship. So again, you notice how this all connects to each other, all right? It's going to allow you to also not allow yourself to be swayed by her emotional moment. There's going to be times where she may get in her emotions. And it's not to excuse her being toxic in that moment or anything like that. But you cannot fall into the trap of now engaging in that same toxic energy. You know what I'm saying? Compose yourself. Chill. Take a deep breath. Process. And then handle things accordingly. All right? And set that example in any situation that you're dealing with. As well as the fact that understand that if something's happening in life, let's say you are dating a woman or in a relationship and something happens to y'all that's kind of hard to deal with. If you as a man can't exude composure or show composure, like it's almost like if you start acting frantic or panicking, that's only going to make her panic more. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to learn how to be the rock when the storm comes. You want to learn how to brace yourself and handle it so that you can come out of it stronger, better, and do what needs to be done. So learning how to compose yourself is definitely a masculine trait you want to cultivate. All right, now number 7 is being ambitious and proactive. All right. Women do not like complacent men. Women do not like men who aren't trying to do anything with themselves. Now, listen, I think we have to acknowledge that not everyone is very ambitious and there's different levels of ambition. So that's why I think even if you're not the most ambitious person, and what I mean by that is some guys are cool with a nice paying job, 401k, doing enough to get by, and that's it. And I don't want to sit there and say there's something wrong with that because there are women who will be okay with that. So if you're not the most ambitious guy, and I'm not going to tell you to be something that you're not, right? You still want to be a proactive guy. You still want to be a guy who doesn't have to always be told what to do. You want to be aware enough to recognize when things need to be done. Hell, if you're with your girl and you see she's having car problems, don't wait for her to ask you or tell you, yo, can you help me with my car? Like, be a man and say, hey, I see you got an issue. Let me help you out. Let me see what I can do here, all right? And it's not automatically you got to pay for it because that's a whole nother discussion. But you're trying to help. You're essentially trying to take burdens off of her back as best as you can. And also you want to be proactive in your own life. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with the fact that maybe you don't have aspirations to be a CEO or super rich or all these things. Hey, that's not for everybody. That's fine, right? But you still want to seek progress in your life. Let the ambition be about how you can continue to grow as a man. All right. What other areas can I improve? So if I'm good with my job and my career, I don't need more than this. Okay, cool. But maybe you can still learn some new things. Maybe you can learn some new skills. I don't know why it's coming to mind, I think because I want to do it. Learn a new language. You know what I'm saying? Like learn other things that still make you, that increase your value in what you can execute and do in life. All right. And show that you're a man that's always looking to evolve and become better. I think that's still important, even if you're someone who's just good at a certain level. Don't be so good that you don't look to get better overall. All right, so now we got number 8, and I got one more after this one, but number 8 is being able to hold yourself accountable. All right. I know a lot of men complain about women not holding themselves accountable, but we're not making this about the women right now. Well, not as far as what they need to be doing. It's about you. Regardless of whether a woman that you're dealing with holds herself accountable, you still need to hold yourself accountable. All right. Do not allow her unwillingness to accept responsibility for things cause you to do the same. That does not mean excuse her from taking responsibility. It does not mean accept her always putting everything on you. Don't get it twisted. But what I am saying is when you can recognize that, yes, you know what, I could have done this better. Yes, you know what, that was my bad. Yes, you know what, okay, I get it. I gotta improve in that area. You gotta be willing to do that. That's what a man does. That's what exudes masculine energy. Someone who can look himself in the mirror and say, you know what, all right, this is a problem area. I gotta work on this. And this is good for you. All right. Again, everything I'm saying here is good for you. But yes, it damn sure is going to make you more attractive to a woman. All right. Because it does not exude masculinity to be the man who's constantly making excuses, constantly deflecting, never willing to hold himself accountable. And if you don't do that, you don't grow as a man. And if you're not growing, then to me, there's nothing masculine about not growing in life. All right. So be willing to embrace that always. And now, last but not least, and this is kind of 2 in 1, masculine traits that women love to see in men: being a protector and provider. All right. Now, let's start with protector real quick. There's this, I remember years ago, I saw a Kevin Hart stand up where he made a joke about like, he ain't no protector. That ain't his thing. And he made this whole joke about him going hiding behind a vending machine or something like that. Very funny joke. But anyways, you know, I had to understand, you know, everyone isn't that guy in that way. But I think that when we say the word protector, don't only think physical. Now listen, if you don't feel confident in yourself as being a protector physically, then work on that. Hit the gym. Go take a self-defense class. You know what I'm saying? Like, do the things that help enhance you in those areas so you are at least more confident about your ability to handle any incoming threats. Again, it don't mean you need to go out there causing trouble, looking for trouble, or anything like that. You don't need to be some unnecessary tough guy. But you want to equip yourself with the ability to protect not just the woman, yourself, your kids if you ever have them, or if you do have them. You want to at least be confident or have some level of ability there, all right? Do your best in that area. But go beyond the physical. Protecting your woman and being a man who exudes masculine energy is also protecting her emotionally, protecting her spiritually, all right? It's caring for her well-being and making sure that you stand in the gap of any kind of threat that comes her way. Again, physical, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is, that you are up for the challenge of defending your partner. That's how you have to think of protecting. So go beyond just the physical aspect of it. And this same principle applies to when we talk about providing. Because yes, whenever we hear providing, we think money. And I do believe that we as men should strive to excel in that area so that we can provide financially. At the very least, you got to start with being financially stable. Let's just start there. Get to a place where you can stand on your own 2 feet and be financially stable. And then, yes, it would be ideal and great for you to now move past that. Everyone's going to have different levels, but move past that in a way that you can provide for a partner. But providing goes beyond monetary. It is providing emotionally, mentally. It is, again, caring for your woman. It is making sure she's good. Okay, maybe you don't have the money to get, like I said earlier about getting her car fixed. All right, but maybe you can learn how to fix certain things for her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can't buy her this, but what other way can you take a burden off of her back? You want to be resourceful. And that's how you can still be a provider for your partner, for a woman, is by learning how to be a resourceful man that lessens the burden that she has to take. And when you have that capability, you will exude a masculine energy that she is going to respect, love, and honor. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. You like her. You really, really like her. But you want to make sure she likes you too. Or you want to make her like you and want you even more because you desire to have this woman in your life. Well, I'm going to lay out to you how